somebody mentioned somewhere this week, have you ever been starstruck by anybody? And I'm thinking, there's been a couple times in my life where I was starstruck. Not since I've been in the entertainment business, no. But before. So I think the first time I was ever like starstruck, Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. I was in the Navy, and this is when they had good vibrations, and he had to be playing at Kings Island in Cincinnati. There was I think it was called Riverbend. It was a big outdoor venue in Cincinnati at this amusement park called Kings Island. And this is before 9/11, so you could just walk to the gate. I remember my buddy Paul, I was home on leave, or I came home for whatever, and I was getting ready to fly back to DC, and we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, the flight I'm about to get on, coming down the jet bridge, is like 4 big-ass black dudes. And I was like, what the hell are they? Right in the middle, Marky Mark. And I just couldn't believe how short he was. I was like, yo. And then I just remember I literally went like, I did like that. I looked and I go, oh, Marky Mark. It just kind of came out, oh, Marky Mark. And he looked over, just gave me a head nod. What's up, man? And he just walked away. I just remember he was very short. I remember he had big ass calves. That's all I remember. And then he had to be that summer. So that must have been early 90s. And it was a summertime, I remember, because he had shorts on and I had shorts on. So he had to be at Kings Island Riverbend. I was kind of starstruck. I was like, I just saw Marky Mark and made eye contact, and he acknowledged me. I was so excited. And then I think the other time was Alonzo Mourning when he played at Georgetown, or he might have just been his first year with the Hornets. I just remember it was late at night, clubs was kind of letting out. I was a little tipsy, and Alonzo got out of a car near Georgetown and the campus and just kept getting bigger. And I was like, who the hell? And I was like, oh, snap. I was like, Lonzo! He just gave me the whole, just gave me a big yell, Lonzo! Why? I don't know. It's funny because when you grow up in a small town in Ohio, we don't see anybody. We don't see no celebs. We had like 4 or 5 of the Bengals come for like a track and field day against the students one day, but it wasn't any superstars. It was like 2 offensive linemen, a safety, and they were all like backups. And they came on like a Bengals Doritos truck to our high school, or some van. That's what it was. It was a van. It was like Bengals and some kind of chip was on it. I think it was Doritos. I just remember, dang, they had a van? Because, you don't know, you're small town Ohio, you think the ball players are coming in on a private jet to the high school or some super stretch limo or something like that. No, it was like a Doritos Bengals van. They pulled up, these 5 big dudes got out, and that was it. They had like a sit-up contest, a pull-up contest. It was just nothing. So I wasn't really starstruck then. And then, I'm trying to think. So you go up in a small town in Ohio, you don't see anybody. And then I get to DC and in the Navy. That's when I saw this point guard for Georgetown called Bobby Winston at a club called the Dome. And I went to him, like, you Bobby Winston? And you got to look him up. He was Georgetown's guard. And he's like, yeah. He was like excited I knew who he was. I was like, yeah, man, big fan of Georgetown. I just kept it moving. That was my MO. I never was a guy like, let me get an autograph. We didn't have cell phones back then, so there was no pics. It was just, I meet him, told him, yeah, big fan, kept it moving. But there was Summer Jam came to DC, and that was like, there's like Keith Sweat, SWV, Jade, that early 90s R&B concert. And I took this girl, and I just remember I walked into the venue, and I saw Riddick Bowe and his manager, Rock Newman. And this was like Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield days. And I was like, oh, I remember I was a little tipsy. We were drinking in the car. And I was like, what's up, Rock? He was like, how you doing, man? I was like, that was Riddick Bowe and Rock. And then So I was high. I was really high up. My tickets were cheap. But I just remember Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning again walked in. So I didn't really get to see him. It was like far away. But I saw the crowd moving with them. This one, like Ewing was on the Knicks. And they were battling the Jordan Bulls all the time. And then Zoe was just got in the league against the Hornets, on the Hornets. So I remember they was moving. They brought their girls. They was holding the hands. And I remember saw Zoe twice, Ewing, but up close, probably the three was Mark Wahlberg, Lonzo Mourning, Riddick Bowe, and Rock Newman. Rock Newman was just as big as Riddick Bowe back then, his manager. So those three were the only three I get to be like, I stopped. I was like, oh my God. That's Marky Mark. Oh, the big guys must be the Funky Bunch.